So in this series of videos, what I'm going to do is show you how to create a self-marking Google quiz that we can integrate with all the other Google tools here in Halton. So the first thing we're going to do is click on New. And this is where we typically see either adding a folder, a Google Doc, or Google Sheet, or Google Slide. If we click on the More option though, this is going to be different for every person based on the number of add-ons you've added. But Google Forms should be there. So you're going to click here. And it may tell you about permissions for sharing. Just go ahead with it. Now what you're going to see is this is a Google form. So if you've ever collected data with your classes, you're probably familiar with this form. If not, all you need to know is that this is where you add the title. And what I want to see is that the untitled form is going to try to take on the same name as your title right here. Now what makes a Google form different than a Google quiz is up here in the settings button. If you click on the settings button, you're going to have to click on a couple things. The most important one here is if you click over to where it says quizzes, you need to click and make this a quiz. You need to make a choice at this point. Do you want the students to get the marks immediately after they submitted or later after manual review? If the point of this is to self-test, to self-mark, to see how they're doing, you probably want them to have the feedback immediately. If you're trying to assess how their understanding is, then you probably want it later after manual review. You're also going to have to decide when the automatic email is generated to the students, whether they should get the correct answers to missed questions, the correct answers, and how much each question is worth. Now in this General tab, what you'll see is you have the choice of collecting emails or not. I strongly recommend that you collect the email addresses automatically and that you restrict it to Halton District School Board users. This way you know exactly who it is that's assigned it. Now you have to choose whether you want them to do it multiple times or one response. If you're trying to do this as an actual evaluation piece and get marks, you probably want to limit it to one response. But if this is for student practice, you might as well let them do it multiple times. Now in this presentation tab, you have the choice of showing the progress bar. This is important if you have multiple pages to your quiz. You probably won't, so don't worry about that. Shuffling the question order is also helpful if you want the quiz to be randomized within the sections. I'll talk a little bit more about this feature later. And from here you hit Save.